All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down the song One Day by B. Martini, featuring Truth. You know, it's one of those tracks that hooks you instantly, but when you really listen, man, there's a deep story under the surface about that drive we all have to leave some kind of mark on the world.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? Why do we want to be remembered? Does it matter if it's just by one person who meant the world to us or by, everyone? That need for a legacy, to know our story doesn't just end when we do. It's this powerful thing inside all of us. And this song, it plugs directly into that feeling. So, what we're going to do today is unpack how this one song manages to tell two completely different stories at the same time. You've got this really personal story of heartbreak on one side and this huge, ambitious artistic vision on the other. And they're both tied together by this one single idea, being remembered. Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the song's core promise, then jump into Truth's story, then B. Martini's vision, and finally, we'll see how it all clicks together to make this incredible statement about legacy.
All right, first up, the central promise. This is all about the song's emotional core, that unifying message that just hits you. And it really all comes down to that simple but super powerful chorus.
This line, this is the whole thing right here. It just loops and loops through the song, and it's kind of like a threat, but it's also a promise, you know? It's the glue that holds these two totally different stories together, and we're going to start with the first one, a classic story of heartbreak.
So that brings us to Truth's story. This is where that huge, abstract idea of legacy gets really, really personal. It all starts from a wound.
And Truth just lays it all out there from the jump. He's like, yeah, I was a sucker for love. It's so vulnerable. And honestly, who can't relate to that? He's saying he was totally swept up in it all, but you hear that but at the end, and you just know something's about to break.
And this is where the story gets grounded in a conflict we've all seen before, right? The battle between a real, authentic connection and just wanting stuff. He's painting this picture of what he thought was real, but he's starting to see that they were on completely different pages.
And bam, there it is, the breaking point. The love he was all in on, it got pushed aside for a love of money. So when he says, one day you gotta remember me, he's not talking to the world, not yet. He's talking to one person. It's this raw, personal plea to the one who he feels completely forgot what was important.
Okay, but here's where the track does something amazing. It pivots hard. We're about to shift from that really personal pain into something much, much bigger. We're talking about a universal artistic grind, all thanks to B. Martini's vision.
So just look at this contrast. It's so clear. Truth is stuck looking in the rearview mirror, focused on that past pain, that betrayal. But B. Martini, he's looking forward to the future. He takes that exact same feeling, that need to be remembered, and blows it up. It's not about one person anymore. It's about the creative journey, the legacy you leave for everyone.
And you hear it right away in his lyrics. He's basically throwing out an invitation. He's not talking to an ex anymore. He's talking to us, the listeners, to his fellow artists, anyone who's on this crazy trip with him. When he says we and they, the whole song just opens up. It goes from a private conversation to a public announcement.
And it's not just talk either. He literally gives us the recipe for how to build a legacy. He's saying you gotta spark creativity, be free enough to just breathe, blaze your own trail, and live it relentlessly. See, it's not about revenge anymore. It's about creation.
And then he drops this amazing phrase, a love conduit. How cool is that? He's saying his microphone isn't just a piece of equipment. It's a channel. It's a way to send out connection, positive energy, and maybe even reclaim the very kind of love that Truth felt he lost. It's such a brilliant way to flip the script on the whole theme.
So you've got these two totally different stories. How do they actually fit together? Well, this is where the track really shows its genius. It's all about how that personal pain and the universal ambition are really just fueling the same fire.
This breaks it down so well. On one hand, you have the personal motivation, right? It comes from heartbreak, and the goal is simple. Make sure one person remembers you. Then you have the universal side, coming from that creative grind, and the goal is huge. Be remembered by the world. They look like different paths, but they're running on the exact same fuel.
And that's really the big idea here. The song is making this powerful argument that the drive to be remembered is like a super powerful engine. And it doesn't really matter what gets it started, whether it's pain or passion, because you can channel all of that energy into making something that will actually outlive you.
And this final line just brings it all home. It's a total call to action. We only get one. We should live it relentless. He's basically shouting, use this one life you have, pour everything into it, and it's all to make sure they remember me. That's where the me from Truth verse and the they from B. Martini's verse finally become one and the same.
And that just leaves us with one final massive question, doesn't it? The song essentially hands the mic over to us. It starts with a very specific story of being forgotten by one person and ends by challenging us to be remembered by everyone. So it makes you think, what will they remember about you?